Welcome to the Empowered Women channel with your host, Coach Depo Lipidi. Coach Depo, a certified leadership coach and author, brings you the Word of God today. It is our hope that today's message will encourage and empower you to do great things in your life. Be blessed as you listen.
Hello and welcome to the Empowered Woman channel. It is my pleasure to be back. And this month is a critical month. The month of October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, DVAM. And I have with me today a woman of God, a woman who loves the Lord and who is passionate about women being safe and free from abuse. To talk about it real quick, it's going to be a quick one because we just want to make sure that this month of October we speak to the situation that we are seeing all around the world. This is not a gender-specific issue. By now, you all know that I call it the monster in the church. Abuse, 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 abuse. One thing I want to say is that abuse is not always physical. The scars are not obvious, but they're there. And so, join me to welcome Yemisi Famuide to speak about abuse in this month of domestic violence awareness. Yemisi Famuide is a trained civil engineer. But along the way, she discovered a passion for baking, and she has a business, Carol's Cakes. She ventured into baking and discovered she was passionate about it. And it's an experience that eventually led her into the Ministry of Counseling. So she's a certified counselor. She's a life coach, and she has a deep commitment of helping individuals and couples to build healthy relationships. She's simply a marriage educationist with a heart for teaching and mentoring. And she strongly advocates that couples be present in the present moment. So don't be absent in your own marriage. It's pretty much what she's saying. We'll have her come back to talk some more. So I'll stop here about her introduction. But I want to add that she volunteers with several NGOs, but she's especially devoted to Diwali, an organization that fights against domestic abuse. And through Diwali, she supports victims, particularly women, and participates in school awareness programs aimed at curbing domestic violence from a young age. She's married, blessed with children and grandchildren. I don't want to tell you how many she has. But yeah, we're so welcome, Oluyemisi. We're glad you're here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Coach D. Thank you. I'm glad to be here too.
Finally, we get here. We've been talking about it for a while, but I'm glad we're able to do it, particularly in this month when there's so much awareness going on domestic violence. Spousal abuse, spousal violence has become a very common thing. And I keep talking about it because the church needs to wake up to this ill that is going on in the society. But our focus this month is bringing awareness, right? What are your thoughts on why there's been an increase in domestic violence? I just watched a video that broke my heart. A man beating his wife. The video has gone viral. A man beating his wife, and he was the one yelling that she was killing him. And she was screaming, please, please. But he kept beating her. Beat her from inside the house to outside to the gate, and he kept beating her with a stick. Why? Why has there been an increase? It's almost like everywhere I turn, it's what I hear. What are your thoughts?
Well, thank you, Coach D. We all know that IPV, that is intimate partner violence, is actually on the high side now.
Right.
It is how am I going to call it? It could be due to lack of not knowing what they're expecting to get in marriage. Some people enter into marriage without a clear expectation of what they want. A lot of people get into it because of selfish reasons, and economic factor will have been cause of it. The way we bring up our children, our male children, can actually be another, foundation of this monster, as we've been calling it. But then, why is it on the rise now? Because everybody's looking for power. Everybody's looking for dominance. Everybody wants to rule something, rule themselves, rule their homes. Everybody wants to be in charge. And majorly because men have that thought behind their minds that they are, they are actually in charge of the situations, how am I going to call it, because men believe that they are born to rule. And like we have said, domestic violence is not gender sensitive at all. There's another case here too that we heard, although we really do not know what led to it, that the lady actually doused her husband with petrol and set him on fire, which is very, very
terrible.
Which shows that it is not gender sensitive. So domestic violence is actually on the high side if the woman is not getting what she expects to get. And because we have moved away from the love that Christ is putting in marriage. The love in marriage is not dominance. The love in marriage is not control. The love in marriage is service to the other person. But we have moved away from it. We all are a bit selfish about what we want and how we are going to get it. If I'm not getting what I want to get, and there's no way of me getting it from my partner, and it looks as if it's going to be a bit difficult for me to get out of it, it's either that we move that love away from our hearts, and then we start looking for how to compromise things, how to manipulate things. And in manipulation, it ends up in abuse, because abuse does not start with beating to start with. It doesn't start with beating. It starts gradually with probably, body language, then it starts with words, and not all even ends in beating, because the mental abuse is actually worse than that physical beating. And even physical beating at times can actually be is also very dangerous. Anyway, let me say, it's also very dangerous because after series of beating, that internal injury that people suffer from, the trauma, the is it internal bleeding, maybe womb is damaged, things like that is another thing. But then what you are asking right now is, why is it on the rise? The economy is changing. The economy is changing. Everything is looking different. And apart from that, being on the rise again is that a lot of the older women do not really know what abuse is. So it is just of recent that they've been looking at it that, I have been abused. And they're just waking up to their reality, because it's like their voices have been removed and they are seeing that they cannot actually talk anymore. A few weeks ago, an 85-year-old woman called me and she said, Yemisi, you know what? I've been watching what you're doing. And let me tell you one secret. She said it's not more a secret anyway, but but let me tell you something that people really do not know. I'm still afraid of my husband.
At 85?
And at 85, her husband is 89. She said, I'm still afraid of my husband. She said, I watch what I say. I mind the way I walk.
Walking on eggshells. When I shared my story, it was one of the things I said, that I was ruled with fear. And that fear seems to be the main instrument of the abuser in an abusive relationship.
Yes.
They teach you to walk in fear. They teach you to walk on eggshells. And so by the time they're done, you're a shadow of yourself. And 85.
At 85, yes.
Still
So she
walking on
said,
eggshells.
still walking on
When
eggshells.
is there going to be an end to this thing? Honestly, and this is why NOMA exists, so that we can keep talking about it until our voices are heard. We cannot, particularly in the church, we cannot continue to allow abuse to fester. I did a video on why are the fathers silent, and I gave the example of David. When he was silent, his entire home scattered. Is that what we're going to do as a church? Let things go bad? No. So, yeah, so we're going to stop here. We're going to come back and continue this conversation. But when we come back, I want us to talk about what we call changing the narrative. We're doing this video in honor of those who have fallen, those who have died from domestic violence, those who have been maimed physically, emotionally. I mean, like, look at this 85-year-old still walking on eggshells. When will there be an end? And I keep telling people that many women will go to hell because of marriage, not because they were married, but because they did not allow themselves to be healed. They did not forgive. They kept going on in anger and bitterness from what their spouses did to them. But we want to save women. We want women to make heaven. That's why you do what you do. That's why you do marriage counseling. That's why you support Diwali and other non-governmental organizations, to make sure that women are safe. So as we round this up, it was meant to be a quick one. We want to say to every survivor, we see you, we love you, we appreciate you. We thank you for your sacrifices while you were in the abuse, but we also celebrate you. We celebrate the fact that you were able to walk away, to break free. For those still in abuse, we see you, we see your pain, we hear you, and God helping us will help as many people as we can. Thank you, EMC, for joining me for this quick session. And like I said, we need to do a recording on changing the narrative. Thank you.
Thank you too for having me.
So glad you joined us today. Please like, share, and subscribe. God bless you.